Force yourself to rise. In a small village surrounded by dusty roads and wheat fields, there lived a young man named Ion. His father was a blacksmith, known for his strong arms and honest work. The sound of hammer striking iron echoed through the village every morning. But after his father passed away, the hammer fell silent. Ion was only 16 when responsibility landed heavily on his shoulders. He had watched his father work countless times, but watching and doing were very different things. The forge looked bigger now. The fire seemed hotter. The hammer felt heavier. For weeks, Ion avoided entering the workshop. He told himself he wasn't ready. He said he needed more time. But time did not wait. Bills piled up. His mother tried to hide her worries, but Ion could see them in her tired eyes. One evening, an old farmer came to their house. "Ion," he said gently, "your father used to fix my tools. My plow is broken. Can you repair it?" Ion looked down. I don't know if I can." The farmer placed a hand on his shoulder. "Your father once told me something. Iron doesn't become strong by lying still. It must face fire and hammer." That night, Ion couldn't sleep. He kept hearing the words in his mind. Iron must face fire and hammer. The next morning, before sunrise, Ion walked into the workshop. Dust covered the tools. Cobwebs hung in corners. The furnace was cold. For a moment, fear returned. What if he failed? What if he embarrassed himself? Then he remembered his mother's worried face. He remembered the farmer's words. He forced himself to move. He cleaned the forge. He arranged the tools. He lit the fire with shaking hands. When the flames rose, his heart began beating faster, not with fear this time, but determination. The farmer's plow lay on the table. Ion picked up the hammer. It felt unfamiliar, but he tightened his grip. The first strike was weak. The second was uneven. Sparks flew, but the iron barely changed shape. Frustration burned inside him. He wanted to quit. He almost did. But then he looked at the glowing iron. It was soft only because of the fire. If he stopped now, it would harden again. He lifted the hammer and struck harder. Again, and again. Hours passed. Sweat rolled down his face. His arms ached. But slowly, the iron began to bend into the right shape. By afternoon, the plow was ready. When the farmer returned, he examined it carefully. Ion waited nervously. The old man smiled. "It will work." Relief washed over Ion. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. Word spread in the village. Slowly, people began bringing their broken tools to him. At first, he made mistakes. A handle cracked. A blade bent unevenly. Some customers complained. Each failure felt like a blow to his confidence. One evening, after a long and tiring day, Ion threw the hammer onto the table. "I can't do this," he muttered. His mother quietly entered the workshop. She picked up the hammer and handed it back to him. "Your father failed many times before he succeeded," she said softly. "But he never allowed failure to decide his future." Ion sighed. "But it's so hard." She looked at the burning forge. "Fire is hard too. But without it, iron remains useless." Those words stayed with him. The next day, Ion began waking up earlier. While others slept, he practiced shaping small pieces of iron. He observed how heat changed color. He noticed how different angles of the hammer created different results. Instead of fearing mistakes, he started learning from them. Months passed. His arms grew stronger. His hands developed calluses. The hammer no longer felt heavy, it felt natural. One day, a wealthy merchant traveling through the village stopped by the workshop. He needed strong horseshoes for his caravan. Ion worked carefully. He measured precisely. He shaped the iron with confidence. When he finished, the merchant inspected the horseshoes and nodded with approval. "You have skill," the merchant said. "Come to the city. Work with me. There is opportunity there." The city. It was a word filled with both excitement and fear. Leaving the village meant stepping into a bigger world. More competition. Higher expectations. That night, Ion stood alone in the workshop. He stared at the anvil where he had once struggled to lift the hammer. He remembered the boy who avoided this place. The boy who doubted himself. That boy was gone, but a new fear appeared. What if he wasn't good enough for the city? He almost decided to refuse. Then he noticed a small piece of iron lying nearby. He placed it in the fire and waited until it glowed bright orange. He struck it once. It changed slightly. He struck it again, and again. Slowly, it transformed into a smooth, shining tool. He realized something. Iron never asks whether the fire is too big. It simply allows itself to be shaped. The next morning, Ion told his mother he would go to the city. The city was loud and busy. Blacksmiths there were faster and more experienced. At first, Ion felt small among them. Some workers laughed at his village accent. Others criticized his slower pace. The old fear tried to return. But Ion had learned something important. Growth only happens when you face discomfort. He forced himself to rise again. He stayed late after others left. He practiced new techniques. He watched experienced craftsmen carefully. When corrected, he listened instead of arguing. Weeks turned into months. Slowly, the laughter stopped. The criticism turned into respect. One afternoon, a royal guard entered the workshop with a broken sword. "It must be repaired by tomorrow," the guard ordered. "The prince needs it." The master blacksmith hesitated. The damage was severe. If repaired poorly, it could break during battle. Ion stepped forward. "Let me try." The workshop fell silent. The master studied him carefully, then nodded. Ion heated the blade carefully. Too much heat would weaken it. Too little would prevent reshaping. His hands moved steadily. His focus was sharp. He remembered every failure, every early morning practice, every moment he wanted to quit. This time, he did not hesitate. Hammer strikes echoed confidently. By dawn, the sword lay on the table, strong, balanced, shining. The guard returned and tested it. The blade sliced cleanly through thick rope. "It is perfect," he declared. News reached the prince, who later visited the workshop to meet the young craftsman. "You are talented," the prince said. "What is your secret?" Ion thought for a moment before answering. "I forced myself to rise when it was easier to fall." Years later, Ion became one of the most respected blacksmiths in the kingdom. He trained apprentices, teaching them not only how to shape iron, but how to shape themselves. Whenever a young apprentice complained that the hammer was too heavy or the fire too hot, Ion would smile and say, "The hammer is heavy for everyone at first. The fire feels unbearable, but if you step away, the iron hardens. If you face it, you grow stronger." One evening, as the sun set behind the city walls, Ion returned to his village to visit his mother. The old workshop still stood there. He walked inside and gently touched the anvil. He realized something powerful. The forge had not only shaped iron, it had shaped him. If he had waited for confidence before starting, he would still be waiting. If he had quit when it became difficult, he would have remained ordinary. Success had not come from talent alone. It had come from forcing himself to rise each time life pushed him down.